2. So good to be back, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on? It's your boy Elephunk. Um, I'm here to show you some Thor gameplay, man. And I'm trying to show you, I'm trying to do a little bit different style video, and one that I've been wanting to see more in our community that I feel like isn't there. Where a player really walks you through one of their VODs, one of their vids, one of their, good games, and just like shows you their whole thought process and walks you through why they're doing what they're doing. Um, I feel like, I can watch when I'm trying to learn a new champ. Obviously there's all the videos in the world about like, oh, this is this character's abilities, this is how you activate XYZ, but there's very few videos, I feel like, of like really high ranked players walking you through their gameplay, showing you why they're doing what they're doing, talking you through about certain situations and where you can get the most utility. And that's what I really want to do right now, because Thor is a character I absolutely love in this game. As you can see, I play him a lot, and that's really why I show you that ranking. It's not like to flex and say I was in the top 100 ranked players, because I know these lists aren't super accurate, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it does show you that I do have some merit and that I play this champ a lot. And if you're thinking, well, why would I listen to this guy play Thor when I could go watch somebody else or all that kind of stuff? Like, showing that just to show you guys, like, I do know a little bit of what I'm talking about. Yeah. So I'm gonna get right into it because this is already gonna be kind of a longer video, but I really just again wanted to highlight, why I make decisions that I do, how I get the most utility out of Thor, especially in like what looks like it's going to be another poke meta in season 9, and all that kind of jazz. So, yeah, I want you guys to, hopefully you like this style of video. Let me know what you want to see in the comments. I do plan on like dropping another video that shows like what my controller settings are, how I combo certain things as Thor to make sure, I have like things like Awakening State as much as possible. But yeah, I really wanted to get this one out there. One, because I feel like, I had a really good game. So this game inspired me to be like, okay, maybe I want to show people how to play this champ. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Drop a like, comment, subscribe if you're new. And let me know what you want to see next. Let me know if you just want to see some more gameplay, but I really wanted to get this one out there. Like I said, just feel like this is an area where um it's something that I want out of the community because there are certain champs that I would love to play. And I feel like I have all their abilities down, but sometimes I still don't play the best with them. And I'm like, well, what am I doing wrong? So I want to watch like a really good player play that champ, and then I can like take notes and be like, okay, this is what I need to look for. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Again, I'll see y'all at the end of the video. But yeah, take it easy. Sit back, relax, enjoy, and just, you know, if you want to learn Thor, try to learn as much as possible. I try to do my best to explain things. So if you have any questions, comments, if you think I'm trash, let me know in the comments. But yeah. All right. This is take 2 because I recorded the whole gameplay the first time, and for whatever reason, it was stuck on the main menu. I don't know how I messed that up, but here we are. Okay, so I want to pay or put everyone's attention to the bans at first. Okay, so our team banned Black Panther, Punisher, Hela. This isn't usually what I go with. Usually I'm like a penny ban, maybe a Dino, Cloak, something like that. But these are still good Thor bans, and let me walk you why. Black Panther has been nerfed, but he's still relatively strong, and he's just a hard guy for Thor to get his hands on. He's a hard guy for anybody, any character to get his hands on, just because he's so fast. So not a bad Thor ban, because a lot of times by the time you even react and turn around, he's already deleted one of your healers. Okay. Punisher is a great Thor ban because, for obvious reasons, but he can just have, his gun pointed at your head the entire game. A really good Punisher is going to play back by his healers, so he's hard to get isolated. One on one, you can handle him easily. But when he's playing next to his healers, playing next to his team, you're just a damage sponge for him. And he's just getting all charge. He's doing a lot of damage to you, not letting you get back by the healers, all that kind of stuff. And Hela's kind of the same exact way. Okay, like I said, any of those characters isolated, pretty easily able to be handled. Thor is a 1v1 merchant, and you're gonna see that in this gameplay. You need to be taking advantage of any squishy that you get into a 1v1 scenario, and you need to delete them from existence. Okay, their team also had really good Thor bans. Okay, so Dino, It's a great Thor ban, for multiple reasons, but one, because he's fucking massive and he has the immobility thing, the grounding. Okay, so you can't just like, you can't dash him, you can't use your displacement on him, which is one of Thor's strongest abilities. You know, you want to be dashing or displacing other teams' tanks or other teams' characters in general, like back into your team where they can get fried. Okay, Dino makes that impossible. He also, uh, kind of counters one of Thor's other biggest strengths, which is his mobility. Okay, like if I'm in a scrum in the middle, he makes it really hard to dash around him because he's massive, and you're not going to be able to get through him and get back to your team for heals. And he also has that chomp and displacement ability of his own, so a lot of times he can just grab you and move you back to your back line. So it's kind of like a Thor tactic that he can use on his own. So not a super fun character for Thor to play against. Spider-Man is also very similar to BP in that a lot of times by the time you turn around and are able to do anything, sometimes he might already have the pick. And he's just like a guy that like you can get down to one HP a ton and then he can just like fly across the map. And as Thor, there's just not a whole lot you can do against a really good Spider-Man. You can help out some. You can kind of wait for him to swoop in and displace him, get him away from your healers, but he's just going to run away at that point. And I love a good cloak ban this season. She's once again probably the strongest healer, in my opinion, especially on controller, because you don't have to aim. It's just auto. And so controller players don't have to worry about aiming. You know, I would say Luna and Mantis are probably stronger on PC, but we're not on PC. I'm on controller. And Cloak is just so good. She's got so much survivability that it makes it hard when Thor has her 1v1 in the back line, that she can just survive and stall until her team turns around and then she gets her cooldowns back. Very frustrating healer to play against as Thor. So yeah, those are great Thor bans going into this game. So let's get this thing started. I'm just going to sit back, kind of watch and walk you through it, okay? So I'm just walking up here. I see Phoenix up there in the high ground by herself, and I'm going to go try to get her right away. She goes back to her team, and so now I'm just kind of shooting awakening shots in the back line, trying to soak up a little bit of damage. I see Venom in our back line, just kind of menacing our team, so I just go back to try to do some damage, because once you do a little bit of damage to a Venom or get him low, he's going to run away. So that was kind of my goal there. Now I'm just firing awakening shots, trying to do a little bit of poke damage, and Venom's back. And trying to do the same thing I did before. He ends up getting a pick, and they get a couple picks here. And so we're kind of screwed off the rip. And so I just try to get back, and I do, and reset. Now I'm just kind of waiting for my team to come back. Gonna go do some damage. Try to soak up my ult. I'm not like doing anything too crazy that's gonna put me in risk to die. Venom dives back here, so again, I'm trying to push him back in my team, get him away from me as fast as possible. And he runs, and so now I'm kind of focusing on trying to aim my awakening shots at any squishies. And our other tank was deleted off rip, the hood. So Venom got ult already. I'm going to try to get back, and I don't. I probably just could have dove right back to spawn, which is what I should have done, and I'm dead. We were able to get a Daredevil pick, which was nice, but they had Res Beacon, so he's back. And we're down a man, so we couldn't even really take advantage of that. I see Penny ulting, so I'm just trying to get up here, and I'm trying to displace her, because she's still able to be moved in that state, trying to get away from my team. And again, we have a DPS player dead, so I just dive right back. I don't go into spawn. I'm trying to let my healers get their ult charge off of me, getting me to full HP. Yeah. And now our healer's ulting, so we have to kind of move. I wasn't really trying to focus on the Venom too much there. I was just trying to like do some damage. Able to get that Phoenix pick, and now I'm chasing the Rocket. And we're able to get some picks in the backline while the healer's distracted. And here we go. One thing I will say as Thor is you want to pay attention to who on the other team is kind of your biggest threat. Okay, so you can see in the top left who they're using on their team, and really their only source of a lot of damage is the Phoenix. Okay, so one thing I'm doing early on, and I haven't like done it yet, but one thing I'm thinking about is like how can I get that Phoenix eliminated from existence. I'm trying to ult to counter this Daredevil ult, but they also rocket ulted. So I think I would have been able to get that pick if they didn't do that. But they did, and so I'm dead. And I wasn't able to finish that kill. And now we got to reset. So as you can see, even like knowing that eventually I go on to have a good game, like this is a struggle off the rip for us right here. There's a minute left and we haven't gotten first checkpoint yet. So, and we do have Gambit ult ready to use, and we have Hood ult. So we have ult advantage. But again, I got kind of lucky getting a final hit there. I just knew or saw the ping that Daredevil was back there. And so I just kind of dashed into him. I was just going to go help out. Yeah, and now I'm just see a healer isolated by herself, dash up in there, get the Phoenix off the board, and now they're kind of eliminated. I see Venom over here, and my goal is just to get him off point so point can move as fast as possible. So I end up pushing him down under, and by the time he even gets back, we have first checkpoint. He can't stall anymore. You know, if I'm not able to do that, he might be able to stall until his team gets back. In an ideal world, he doesn't, but that is a reality, is Venom is hard to kill sometimes. I'm trying to just like see what's going on in their backline here, see if they're going to pay attention to me. They in fact did pay attention to me, so I just take that off angle back to point. And we kind of had numbers here. Their Penny was isolated, no shield. I'm not sure where their Venom was. And now I'm trying to chase down the Cyclops. I don't know if this was the smartest play in hindsight, but again, as Thor, you are trying to find those 1v1 matchups. And so now I'm pushing Cyclops back into my team. He's weak. I'm still trying to focus him. Trying to make sure this guy gets off the board. And I do end up finishing that kill. The Phoenix is playing too far up. I try to push her back into my team. Go back for some heals before I re-engage because they're down a man. And our Iron Man's down. And now I focus the Phoenix because she was playing too far up, but I'm also dead. So it was a trade. Yeah, their Venom did a really good job of forcing our team back once again, and I didn't quite realize that fast enough. And so I ended up playing too aggressive and didn't have any heals to go back to. So one thing as Thor you gotta pay attention to, like I don't die too many times this game, but even like watching some of these plays back, there are times where I die where I'm like, if I would have had my game sense would have been there a little bit more. I could have made a play or played my life. I saw Rocket weak and isolated, and the team was kind of scrumming and not like doing too much, so I'm looking for picks, and I end up having a really good ult there because everybody's on center point, and it's hard to get away from Thor ult in situations like that. So definitely doesn't have a good ult. It's not very strong, but you can still get good ones off. Right now I'm taking an off angle, trying to see if a DPS would play a little bit too aggressive, and maybe I could get a pick off the rip. And they end up strange porting, so I'm pushing this port, and I'm going to try to cut off any heals from getting in there if I can. I end up getting a Phoenix pick in there, which is awesome. I might have been able to finish that rocket, but I didn't go for it. Just wanted to help my team out back at point, make sure nothing crazy was going on there. I already got one healer pick, so playing for another one would have been maybe overkill. Their Cyclops ulted and didn't get anybody, and I ended up pushing him back to the back line. The Jubilee's back here for some reason. Again, you know, miss some fucking melees, which is not impressive, but still finished that pick. Try to push Venom away from my team. Phoenix gets a really good ult there, which is super unfortunate. And I was trying to wait for her to spawn. Again, like, that was not the best gameplay right there. But you can see what I'm trying to do. And then I'm focusing on a healer because, like, their Venom's just kind of stalling point. And if he loses a healer, which he does right there, he's not going to be able to do it for very long, right? I'm focusing more on the Strange here. Yep, because he can't block the melees. And now I'm pushing up to try to see if any squishies, like this Star-Lord, wanted to try to get some 1v1 smoke, but he's smart and runs back to his team. Now I just run back, try to get as many as cart on possible. Like, I'm not going to go push up by myself. Makes more sense to just go back and have 3 on cart. I try to push Venom away from point there so the cart can keep moving, but I miss him. But he's going to run anyways. Just use those awakening shots to do more damage. Like, we end up getting that Jubilee pick, and I hit her a couple times with the awakening. So like that was a factor in getting those picks, you know. So making sure I try to always, for the most part, in most situations, I'm trying to aim my awakening shots at squishies. It doesn't really make them, like, you're not going to do enough damage to get tank picks off of them, but if you can get a squishy low, you know, sometimes they don't get healed right away, because the healers might be heal botting and just focusing on their tanks, and you can help finish some of those picks. End up getting another really good ult here, and now we kind of got him in a bind. Our Iron Man ulted their Venom, which was really good use of his ult there, and then the rest of their team just really fell apart. They do swap trip heals at the end here and are stalling point relatively well. And like, I'm just trying to get one of those healers eliminated off the board. So whoever I'm focusing on, the Jubilee ult, so obviously I kind of gave up going for her. And now I'm trying to get that rocket isolated. And now I see Gambit over here by himself. So really just like seeing who is playing alone is huge. And like, even without Strange coming to help me there, like I would have had that Jubilee one-on-one. She probably would have been fried regardless of the ult. And now they're down multiple healers. Venom dies. And I go to push up to their line to make sure nobody else can get back into the fight. And boom, that's how we walked him first point. At the end of first point, I am 29-3 with 18 finals. And I believe I end up finishing with 43 finals in this game. So still got a lot of kills to go. That was a pretty good round. Only 3 deaths, which is, again, you really want to try to get a good KD ratio with Thor. You got good mobility, okay? You got to be playing your life a lot. And you're also trying to playmake. There's a balance between playmaking and playing your life, okay? You got to really be smart about what plays are going to be feasible for you to make and not without dying. Because one thing I will say about Rivals is it's definitely the most team-oriented game that I have ever played in my life. If you've ever played Rivals where one of your teammates quit, how often do you win those games 5v6? Almost never. I could probably count on one hand we've been able to hold a team off when we had a teammate DNQ. Okay? Like, it's just when you are down a man, it is impossible to win in this game. And that's one thing you need to take advantage of on Thor. Because you can delete players in 1v1. So you need to be looking for guys who are taking off angles that you can get isolated. You need to look at a DPS player who's playing too far away from his team. You need to focus on a tank who's playing too far up and displace them back into their backline. And that's really how I start this round 2 here, is I'm just playing on this point and I'm kind of waiting for this mag to get a little too far up away from his team. And I'm trying to push him back. And there we go right away. I don't know why I was kind of laggy right there. He ends up bubbling so I can't displace him again. But that's what I'm trying to do there. And then I'm trying to see which of these healers are playing too far to the right here away from his squad. So I see Rocket over there. I try to go for him. He ends up dashing back to his back line, but that's okay. They start off this round triple healing. Eventually their heal pool switches to a DPS pool. But again, I'm just playing on point, trying to wait for isolations or wait for a tank that I can capture. I'm not playing really too aggressive here. I'm waiting, patient, the patient approach. I'm just firing awakening shots, trying to get guys weak, see if we can get any picks. I see Deadpool over here by himself, try to fry him. I can't. I just get back to point, back to my spot. I see Bucky too far up here, push him back. We end up getting the Bucky pick. Boom. Now they're moved back. I see Storm up there. I was going to go help if needed. Iron Man didn't need it. And now I'm waiting to push guys. And Deadpool gets way too far up. Push him back. He's deleted. And now I'm back to firing awakening shots, getting my ult charge up. I see Storm she's trying to go for Iron Man hard, and you can ground her, so I do that, but she gets bubbled. I realized I wasn't going to get that pick, and I escape back. I see Storm doing the same thing again. I don't have the grounding yet, so I just dash up to her, and she's dead anyways. I see Mag too far up here, push him back. Try to do it again, bubbled, but he couldn't get back to his heals in time. He's gone. I see Rocket over here by himself, make him dash back again, and I'm back to point. Okay, so you can kind of see what I'm doing here, and I'm trying to walk you through the thought process. I'm not getting too crazy aggressive. Iron Man unfortunately died trying to counter the Jeff ult, and now we're kind of cooked. I see Deadpool again, too far up. Trying to hit awakening shots, get one, he's dead. I go for the rocket, but he got ult off, which is unfortunate, and that kind of, I think, cooks our squad. So I'm just trying to back up to the healers. The mag ult that he biffs. And now the storm ult is where we kind of fall apart as a team. So I back way the hell up, and I wish other people would have as well. There's not a whole lot you can do against storm ult, guys. It's just kind of a destruction on point. And so you just kind of got to get away from it. But they end up getting a few picks there, and then we really never recover as a team. I don't play my life here the best, unfortunately. I should have backed up a lot. I was trying to use that natural cover, but Mag just ends up pushing up, making the smart play and pushing my healers back, and then by the time I try to escape, I was already dead. So yeah, that was unfortunate. An unfortunate way to lose a point. But we do Gambit ult here, our Storm ends up getting picked off, and then the Bucky who died ends up getting rezzed, and then he ults, and by the time I get back to the fight, they already have a lot of picks. I try to pull Mag to this point just to get him away from point, and at this point I'm just kind of like stalling, playing a little bit like too uber aggressive to try to stall point and get a pick. I do get a pick, which is nice. But this spawn point is far from my team, so they don't get back for a while, and our Moon Knight Moon Knight comes in and just gets blown up. So I see Mag weak and isolated over here and realize I can push him into that building away from his heals, and I do, and I get that pick, but the rest of my team kind of fell apart in the process, so I think their Deadpool was kind of pushing our heals back. Like I said, he switched to DPS pool at this point. So I really think while I was isolating that Mag, their Deadpool and Winter Soldier and Storm were probably just doing way too much poke damage to our backline and forced them to back up or got a pick. And like I said, our Moon Knight was dead. So that was a tough way to lose that point. A few things I could have done better. I realized Deadpool got a pick back here, but he was way too far extended, so I go get him. So we're still in a 5v5. I see that Storm up and by herself, so I'm going to go try to see if I can get her isolated, but she ults. And this is probably the best play I make all game, okay? Storm ulted, okay? She's going back to my team, okay? Well, there's nothing I can do a whole lot about a Storm ult, okay? I can't displace her in there. She's not going to die. And so I just run to point. And my goal here really was just to stall point as long as I could. But the people who end up coming to help are two squishies. Okay, it's Rocket and Bucky. Okay? And so I get the Rocket weak and I make him use one of his dashes, and then I ult. And boom, now I have two of them dead. And now my team, who survived the Storm ult, which is awesome, they must have just backed up, played their lives, which you love to see, were able to come back up, and now all of a sudden we got this. Okay? Jeff ult, I just get the hell out of there, and we're able to counter that ult really well. But our Iron Man gets blown up again. I try to ground Storm, I do, and we get that pick. Get Deadpool as well. And now I'm looking if anybody else is up by themselves. There's spawn points like right around that corner, so I didn't want to push that Bucky. I knew his heals would be behind him. I try to do the same thing. I'm trying to be careful. I don't want to get like Bucky wrapped up and pushed back into the corner. Yeah. And here I'm just trying to do damage. We had a couple of them dead. They Magneto ult, which is unfortunate, and get a couple picks. And now our team kind of fell apart. I run back to a healer. I push the Deadpool back again. He was not very good, if I'm being honest with you. He was down way too much. And I'm just trying to do damage. We don't have numbers, so I can't get too aggressive. It's just kind of like trading picks for picks right now. I run back there, try to get the Rocket weak. I did, but he runs to a bubble. And then I couldn't get back in time for my team to get heals, and I'm done. So like right there, initially, chasing that Rocket looked like a really good idea, because I had him weak. But when you have Mag on your team, Rocket's got a good escape move. He just dashes back into his team, gets a bubble, and I blow up before I can even get back to my heals. So, again, it's a constant balance with Thor on his playmaking and staying alive. Because a lot of times when you don't get those picks, it looks bad. And right there, that looked bad. Because I tried going for a Storm pick. I was hoping maybe it was just their DPS who came up and their tanks didn't follow. But indeed, their entire team followed. They were playing really aggressive off getting that second point, which is smart. And so I end up blowing up. Again, constant balance of your playmaking ability and your need to stay alive in this game. So right here, I'm just kind of waiting to make sure my team is with me. And I guess as you can see, I'm dashing back and forth. I get pulled in by Bucky Luigi Gambit all, and I did not get a very good ult off there, unfortunately. Yeah, and they storm ult, so we blow up. And then I get sniped by the storm, I think. I tried to do this cheeky play where as Thor you can maybe get back while you're in that zombie mode and swap characters and stay alive, but it didn't work out. So we blew up there. Storm has had some really good ults on this second point. And at this point we swapped to triple heals. Our Moon Knight switched off. So we got a little bit more survivability. But again, even now 2 of us got blown up. Like our Mantis and our Gambit died. I do my best to fry that rocket beacon. I try to grind the storm so she can't do too much. But she's getting healed right now. And at this point, I'm just like trying to stop point and stay alive. So you see me dashing like in the air a lot, trying to avoid any damage. Wait till my healers get back. And they do get back. I see rocket beacon over here by itself. But I didn't have, at that point we didn't have anybody on point, so I was really nervous to C9 and finish that thing. I was trying to wait there to get the hammer, get my 3 hammers to go in the awakening state to fry it, but I ended up getting the rocket pick anyway, so I didn't really need to worry about it. Now I'm just trying to focus on their other healer to delete them all from the game. Yeah, that Gambit ends up dying. And we end up losing this point. The Deadpool came back and got a really big pick. And then they Strange Port, and I think they Storm Ult again at the end here. I'm trying to displace Strange to keep him away, and somehow that one misses, and he's able to get back to full health. That was very unfortunate. I'm not quite sure how our Venom managed to die with 3 heals back there. He died, and then Storm Ult comes in. I ult and get a pick, but everybody got off point to avoid the Storm Ult, and they end up winning the point. So, not super fantastic there. At the end of 2 rounds, I'm 49-8 with 31 finals. So like really good stats, but some things I would definitely love to have back. And yeah, that's just how second point went. And then we go to OT. But again, when we're talking about like playing your life and balancing playmaking, I do have the least amount of deaths in this game, or tied at least with my Gambit. It's definitely something I try to pride myself on as Thor, is just not blowing up consistently. Trying to play your life as much as possible, while also balancing, doing a lot of damage, keeping pressure on their healers, displacing tanks, all those kind of things that you're seeing me do so far. Let's fast forward here and get this OT point started. Let's just go. Here we go. So immediately I'm trying to get to point, get it moving. Trying to see what they have back there, and I noticed trip heals off the rip. And I noticed they don't have a whole lot of damage, other than their storm. And the rocket was playing way too far up, so I just kind of charge up my awakening shots, and I fry that little rat. This was a nice play by me. I just take the Magneto away from the play for like 5 seconds there. And it just leaves their healers exposed. We were able to get 1 pick. I'm not sure who it was on, but it makes their healers back way up. And then I'm just blowing right past this mag, trying to focus on this invis. I make their invis play their life, so they're not like being able to heal as much. And again, I'm just kind of ignoring the mag and putting pressure on the healers, and then there, like, I tried to bring mag back into points, so he's just taking constant damage. The healers are being pushed back by our Venom as well. We swapped to a Venom, which was good, a good decision. And the healers are getting way pushed back, so that mag didn't have any protection. So I just make sure he doesn't have a way to escape. I displace him, like keeping him in that room. And then I go apply pressure to the healers. And making sure that they don't feel like they can just like come up and make plays. They're all right in here, but they don't have any big guys back. Mag is slow. He's not getting back to point quite yet. Yeah, I'm making sure nobody's pushing our back line. And then I'm trying to make a play. Nobody really pays attention to me around this corner. I get rocket weak, but I'm not quite able to finish the pick. And now I'm just going back to cart to make sure we always have the guy on. Push it as fast as possible. Their teams all move back. Deadpool's trying to come around and take an off angle. I'm going to make sure he can't get anybody. Make him run away. If I would have hit my awakening shots there, maybe I could have finished somebody. And you might not notice this, but I got my ult canceled right there, which sucked. I'm not quite sure exactly how that happened, but somebody did some immobility shit. And I couldn't get ult off. But we end up getting all these picks anyways. They completely blew Gambit ult. They completely blew Rocket ult. And we really have an advantage here.
There's still a chance to stop them.
Let's just fast forward. Actually, yeah, I'm going to back up. Because their invis runs up and pushes ult up pretty aggressively, and we all just focus her. And Iron Man ulted, I believe, so we're able to get that pick. Their Storm is ulting in our backline, but again, not much I can do about that, so I'm just trying to focus on putting pressure on healers. But I got too aggressive and I blew up, which sucked. Like, I should not have gotten that aggressive. We didn't quite need it. I should have escaped a second earlier, but we end up getting a pretty good pick and a couple picks, and so I don't feel the need to strange port here because I was the only one dead and we had like a 5v4 yet. And I had ult and I didn't want that to go back to 50%. And Thor can get back to point pretty quickly. If it would have been a 5v5, I definitely would have strange ported. As you can see, I push Mag to the back line. I'm making sure that he gets picked before then I go put pressure on more healers. I ult, you know, to try to get a pick ideally, but for the most part it was really to try to push the healers back as well. Thankfully I didn't die from that Cyclops ult. I see Rocket weak on point. I'm trying to focus him, hit a few awakening shots and fry him, fry the mag, and they're scrambling. Now I'm going to go try to see if I can get another squishy pick, or I just make the Gambit back up, and I make him back up. So OT's going well. OT's going well right now. I'm hoping you guys can start to see the rhythm of Thor a little bit and what I'm trying to do. Isolate players, displace tanks or squishies back to your team so they can get fried. And even like displacing them away from their heals. So like Mag, I pushed back behind that wall where he couldn't get healed. Like it doesn't do a whole lot sometimes. Like he didn't get picked there. But again, it's just something you should be doing as Thor, because at the very least it made sure he wasn't comfortable to push up the point. I see Cyclops playing really aggressive, so like he's somebody I focused on here just to try to delete that damage from the board. And I definitely could have done a lot better job of it. I definitely didn't play that the best, but we end up getting him eventually. They White Fox ult here, they Rocket ult here, and then I think their Angela pushes somebody off point, and I was somehow not on point there, so we end up C9. So that was a really unfortunate way to not get that last point in OT. A very unfortunate way. I should have been more cognizant about So I accidentally switched that, but I don't think you guys missed anything. Thor is a nice Angela counter because of the grounding mechanic, and she gets really aggressive in backlines. You can ground her in the backline, and then all of a sudden she's taking way too much damage, grounded with no escapability. You'll see that at least a couple times here in OT. So we go into the last point of OT, and as you can see, I'm going 65-9 with 38 final hits. I only died one time in that OT round, and even that one death, like I shouldn't have done that. It was just being a little bit too aggressive, okay? So definitely, like, kind of interesting to review the tape and see what I could have done better, even in a game where I felt I played really well and didn't make a whole lot of mistakes. So same thought process going into OT here as I did on defense the first time. I'm gonna sit on this point, and I'm gonna try to kidnap tanks, and I'm gonna try to see any isolated squishies. You see, they still have Angela, so what I'm trying to do off the rip is go ground her. And she backed up, so I didn't want to do it right there. But as you can see, I'm kind of saving my LB to make sure that I have it for her to ground it. And you can see I get the grounding off, and she's dead. Instantly blows up. And then I use the rest of my awakening shots to just fire in the back line. Our invis died, which is really unfortunate. And Angela's back. Ground her. But she's able to get away, I believe, because of the mag bubble. And I'm just going to look for any players who are playing too far back. And then I see mag play a little bit too far up. I drag him back, and then I'm trying to do the same thing. Wait for that bubble to play out and drag him back. We get a mantis sleep on him, and I drag him back. And then, like, we're not doing enough damage to him, so I kind of give up on it. And just kind of make the rest of the team back up. But as you can see, I try to, like, keep my eyes out for any players who are not where they should be. So that white fox played way too aggressive there, fried her. I see Angela back here again. Try to ground her, but they got mag bubble off, so she didn't get grounded, but she gets blown up anyways. And then they got no real damage threats back here, and I'm just trying to get picks. I'm not sure what the hell just happened to that Angela. I think it just lagged. Then I'm, you know, playing the Gambit, who's just trying to stay on point. Playing the mag, get a hammer throw. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the game. I end up finishing as the ace, 72-9 with 43 finals. Overall, just a really, really good game. I think it was a good one to show off as Thor, just because, like I said, I think I displayed a lot of the things that make him, in my opinion, one of the more fun characters to play. I do think at the end of the day, in a poke meta, he is a really difficult player to play in certain comps. And that's why bans are important. That's why, you know, understanding, you know, who can CC you, staying away from those characters. There wasn't a whole lot of CC in this game, which made Thor so much stronger. Like, they only played Bucky for a stretch in the first half. And I just, you know, you gotta just avoid getting hooked in. But yeah, I want you guys to leave comments. Let me know what you think of this video style. Let me know what you think of my gameplay. Am I trash? Am I not playing Thor the way I should? Did you think I went crazy? Do you think I'm the best Thor of all time? Definitely let me know in the comments what you guys want to see next. I am, like I said, planning to drop a video with my controller settings, some combos I like to do to make sure I have Awakening State as much as possible, and all that sort of jazz. So, like I said, hope you guys can expect that, and I appreciate you guys watching at this point if you did. Yeah, I will not take up any more of your time. Peace out. Hope y'all take it easy.